So, how to be Pythonic? Because this is a question that I've asked myself, and I'll tell you what happened, and my journey, and my story. So, oops. Oh, the animation. Ooh. Okay. So, I'm Chuck. So have been involved in a lot of open source projects, including Terminus DB, which is an open source database, open source graph database. And I also involved in a lot of organizing different things, including London Python Sprints, which we had this Monday, a virtual online one. Indie webcam also we have to do it online. It's like several weeks ago. EuroPython we also go online, and the most special thing is Pyjamas, which is a 100% online conference, because we had this idea even before this crazy pandemic happened, that we want to be in our bed in our pajamas and have a 24 hours Python conference marathon that happened globally. So we just had a first meeting for the organizing team, and I hope to make this happen. And to echo with Naomi's talk, and then maybe I can't be sure at this moment, but if we can do something to help PSF to raise money, that would be great. But we'll see what happened. Um, so also, recently I am streaming online for some tutorials. Some of them are in Python, some of them are not. But if you're curious, you can go to Twitch and find me there and follow me, so you will catch me when I go online. Um, so, um, what does Pythonic mean? Is it a thing? I would like to ask this question. And if you can go on the link there, the direct poll link there, that you can, I will start the poll in a second, and then if you could, yeah, if you can do it, that it would be great. So let me see. Yes. Yeah, you should be able to poll now. So if you can't, just give me a shout. Then I would sort this out. But yeah, let's go there and click on it. I'm seeing yeah. Oh, it's paused. Sorry. I'll start it again. Is okay. Yeah. Okay. Now it should be working. So yeah. Yes, just answer the question yes or no, and I will give you um, maybe a few seconds. I think it's a very easy question. Um, yeah. So let's see. Let's see. Right. See if I can see the result and if I can. Right. Okay. I think it would be very difficult for me to switch the screen right now. What I gotta do is I gotta tell you the result I'm seeing. You have to trust me on this. Yeah. Oh, some of you are still voting. Okay. So I wish I could you know let you see it, but I don't know whether if I do it, it will be crazy. So let me try. Cause this Zoom thing is making me a bit nervous. Yeah. Can you see the result? Uh, yeah. If not, then I gotta read it out to you, and you gotta see it in the recording because I'm recording the talk and it's showing in the recording, so you know that I'm not lying. So now, right now, there are like 33 of you voted, and then 87.9% say yes is a thing. So yeah, I want to know what people think about it. So obviously, a lot of people agree that there is a thing. So um, yeah, I actually found this on Stack Overflow. I always check things on there, and there's an amazing community there. It says Pythonic means code that doesn't just get the syntax right, but also follow the convention of Python community. It's a community-driven thing, and use the language that it is intended to be used. So wow, I'm not so sure. Like I know a lot of core DAFs, but I don't know whether I'm doing the way that Python is intended to be used that way. So it's quite a challenging a question to ask yourself. I think it's more like it's like an artistic thing. It's a style. It's not absolutely right or wrong, and there's always people debating what is Pythonic and how to be Pythonic. For example, when I first started using Python, I was using it in data science projects. So I use pandas, and sometimes I was struggling. It's like, why when I, look up to Stack Overflow, like how to do this, and people give me a way that is, very Pythonic or pandaric. I don't know how to say it, but it's pandas way of doing it. And then I would just like, why can't I just use a for loop to do it? I just loop through every row and go through all the data and do it one by one. Why? Why I have to do it in a very so-called elegant way to do it? So yeah, I was a bit, having these questions a lot when I started, and I'm sure that for lots of people, if you are like me, you go from a different language. So the example here is Java, but I was using something like more C-like, C++, and C# and things like that. So this is more familiar to me, right? So you write a for loop, you have an index, you increase it one by one, and then do something, and then you move across, every single item and do something. But this is not considered Pythonic. This is more Pythonic. When you write a for loop in Python, then you go through the items one by one. You don't go through the index anymore. It's too difficult. And even better, you can use a comprehension, a list comprehension, or a dictionary comprehension. You can just write it in one line. That's it. So this is Pythonic. This is I would see it as so some people say it's a zen of Python. It's simple is better, and more explicit is better. But there's also some tiny little things that people always debate about which one is more Pythonic. So it comes to a thing that, because as I said before, I was involved in Terminus DB, an open source graph database project, and database. So you will have query language. So another question I want to ask everybody, you can go back to the link that I can change it into the second question, and then you will see it. It's a question that's whether or not you like SQL. I'm sure, like, I'm just assuming everybody know what SQL is. So if you don't know what SQL is, you can do a quick Google and just look at some of the code, see if you like it. So it's very subjective. Like, you can like it or you can hate it. So I would like to see what you think. And yeah, let's see. Oh, 50-50. Ooh. Is it true? Like, oh, okay, it's changing now. Oh, it's amazing. I love seeing this like voting thing. I wish you can see it, but if you don't, then I would just read it out. Now there are like 26 of you voting, and 27. So I would give you maybe 5 more seconds. So I'm counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there are a few seconds delay. It's fine. So, okay, I'll assume this is the result now, more or less. So there are like 64.7%. So almost 2/3 of you think that you like SQL. Oh my God! Yeah, like usually I ask this question in a room, and if my talk is about database, and some people would be like, "Oh, I am more sophisticated. SQL is very basic," and they would say no, or they just like they're playing with their phone and don't raise their hand. So this is amazing to see the poll. Right. So yeah, so everything just started when I joined Terminus DB as a developer advocate. So um, what Terminus DB, let me, I don't want to advertise too much, so I'll just quickly give you an idea what it is. So this is a table, right? So in traditionally, when you have a SQL-based database, you store data in a table. And it's not very intuitive what this is. You can see there are some names, there are some date of birth. So it could be, a class of students, right? It could be anything, or patients. But you look at the other columns, then oh, mother and father, oh, maybe it's a family, and then you have to in your mind make a map to map those person mother, and then with their ID, and then to find who is whose mother and who is whose grandmother. And it's not easy. You have to use your brain to map it out. Imagine you are presented this tree diagram that you can just immediately see that it's a family tree. There are, sorry, hello, yeah. So you can see that actually there are mother and father, and then there are who is whose grandparents. You can immediately see it, so it's very intuitive. Um, so yeah, that's why Terminus DB is a graph database, because everything in the graph is very intuitive. Is how a lot of things in our world is a graph. Things are related to each other. Is not in a table format. A table format is for other things. But a lot of things are not supposed to be in table format. Um, so here comes, if you use SQL, you end up, for example, you find somebody's John's grandmother. You have to make a join to find John's mother, and then find John's mother's mother, or even if you want to find both grandmother, you have to find John's father and then John's father's mother. Oh my god, this is complicated. It's difficult to say as well. And so for those who like SQL, I assume you like making a lot of joins, and it's like solving a puzzle, right? 1,000 lines just to do something very simple. And this is the time when I feel like, why can't you just write a program and do a for loop to search it? um, so I personally, I have been using SQL for quite a lot because I was a data scientist. And there comes a point like I feel like I am making a Goldilocks machine. Like it's something very trivial, but I have to make millions joins to do it. Why? Um, so in Terminus DB, you can write more direct queries. So this is WOQLJS. So this is not Python. This is in JavaScript. That you can just use triple, because triple defines the relations between two things in the database, in the graph. And you can have variables in this query. So things with the v is a variable. So it's more programmatic. It's like you declare some variables and find the relations between them, and then give me the variables or solve these puzzles for me. You don't have to solve it yourself, like using SQL. So, but the thing is, when I joined, I actually they, of course, like my colleagues, they know how to write Python, but none of them are like fully a Pythonic person. They won't consider Python their main programming language. So when I join in, they have this JavaScript, WOQLJS, that is a query language that you can write in JavaScript. I was thinking, I have an idea. How about we have a Python version of that? We call it WOQLpy. So it's a query language for Pythonistas and data scientists. Because data scientists, I was a data scientist, I was a Pythonista, and I would love to have it. I would love to be able to write a Python program and directly control my query rather than writing it in a string. Because you can write it in the formatted string. Python gives you the power to do that. But what if I don't have to worry about that? And sometimes passing the string is tricky because you have to escape something, or when if you are on the other side, if you are not the user, you are the designer of the database, you have to worry about injection and all these things. So this is not the best way of writing a query. And I will show you our design, why we are better, and why we can use Python, and it's exciting to do that. So when I join the company and I tell everybody, it's like, let's do this. And then I am glad that they all love it. Like I love my colleagues, they are super supportive. So yay, we have WOQLpy, so let's do it. So yeah, what is WOQLpy? It sounds yummy. So I gotta tell you what it is. So obviously it's a query language, but it lets you to write everything in Python. So you can see that here in this script is actually in Python, obviously, but we are constructing a query language. So you can see that we would have a client. So you can see we have in the line, I don't know if you can see my cursor. So there is here, there's the WOQL client. So this is what you use, is like any API that you can talk to your database. And also, this is just using the API to connect. You can create a database, but this is the query here. So you are creating a schema, so it's a structure of data. So you can just chain it like this. So this is all like Python methods. So instead of passing a string to pass it in to your API client, you just build it like a Python object. And then at the end, you just execute, and it would be like, oh, yeah, and then it would tell the client to send your query to the database. And that's it. It's like super Python friendly, in my opinion, at least. But under the hood, actually what the client is passing to the database is a JSONLD file. So instead of passing a string, like I said, it's difficult because for the user, sometimes you have to escape to avoid some, tricky bugs. And for the designers, they worry that somebody may do an injection attack. So passing a JSON-LD is a safer way, but of course nobody want to write this. So that's why we have WOQLpy. So if you ask me to write this, I would go mad. Our CTO can do this. He's designing the database, so he have to deal with this on the backend side. I can't deal with this. This is like nightmare. You see, like I would love the Python script. I love things like this. And then if I can write my query like this, I'm happy. If I have to write like this, I would be mad. I would be pulling on my hair out like in one night. So, um, yes, but when I was writing it, I have a question in mind that because originally WOQL.js was developed by my colleagues who was using JavaScript. So they think that the first way, chaining, for them is the best way of doing it in JavaScript. So when I translate it into Python, I kind of more or less keep the same design for now. But I also think that from my experience, being a data scientist using Python in pandas, we have multi-parameters like the doc types. Because when we build a data frame, we just pass in all the parameters that I want in the in just like the function or method, and then it would just do the job. So I would like to see what do you prefer. So this is another poll. I would like to see whether it's like a chaining that you prefer or multi-parameter that you prefer. This is a genuine question that I really want to know. It will affect how we design the things later. So let me start the poll, and you can start now. Whoa, I'm seeing the vote. So yeah. Actually, I was wondering whether the orange is the first one or the second one. Maybe I have to double check it at the end because it's the color is different from what I see before. So yeah. Okay. I wish this one showed me. I think I have to end it before I can see the answer. But one of you votes 81 70. Okay, so it's kind of like 80 to 20 difference, but I think I have to end it to see the result. Okay, I will give you a countdown and I'll end it so I can see the result. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I will stop it so I will see the result. Right. Let me see. So I think this is the link to the result, and then see if I can see it or not. I'm using this. This is new thing for me, so bear with me. Ooh, this is super strange. Okay, I think I have to check it at the end. It will become a mystery for, for eternity. But maybe I'll write a blog post about it at the end, like and share it with you or something. That I will have to go back to this app and check. So yeah, I'm not so sure anymore because this app is strange. But anyway, thank you for voting. I would definitely look at your result at the end. So right now we do have this WOQLpy available. It's in our Python client. which you can pip install. Yeah, of course, it's a Python library, right? So you can pip install. So just pip install Terminus client Python is in our docs. It's very easy, but there's a catch. If you do the first one, it only install the bare minimal. So you can do the things that I showed you before. You can build your query. You can talk to the database with the client. But if we have added something new, we have added like the output to the data frame. So if you are that is using pandas like me, you may want to get your data back in a data frame. So if you do that, you have to install data frame, which also install the pandas dependency for you. So yeah, and after that, you can use this query to df method, and you would get a. So what you would do is like you build your query, and then you use the clients to pass it to a database. The database will give you back a JSON file is the result that you get, and then if you pass it into this query to df, then you would have a pandas data frame back. It's very neat, and then you can carry on your data analysis, or you can carry on your machine learning. It's very neat. I should write a blog post about this and use it, to show people. But it's kind of hidden there at the moment. But yeah, we'll have to launch it properly. So, um, but there are also some design challenges because, for example, the JavaScript we have very simple WOQLn, but can you see the problem in the second one? Like if I want to make the same one with Python, so WOQLquery.n, you can't do that. Because n is a keyword, you dummy. You can't do it like this. It will complain. Your Python interpreter will shout at you and say like, don't do this. So, yeah, okay. I would add the prefix or add the WOQL and, but you can see it's not as elegant as the JavaScript version. It's more tedious. It not just the and, it also happened with or, not, as, and from. So I know a lot about Python now. I know that like you can use a lot of thing like you can even like length, you can reuse it. They just override the default function. But for these keywords, you can't write a function with the name of it. So yeah, yeah. And so looking at the future, so it's like a baby. This is like my baby. I only started months ago, so it's still very young. We are still developing it. We hope to make it better. We will have more functionality with the database as well, so the Python clients will need to be better as well. So yeah. So also one thing about the database, we have a console that you can use on your web browser. So this is where you can query your database and then have a look at what's the data inside. So this is a tabular format, so it's kind of very similar to when you use like Oracle, like you put a SQL query there. Like I think there's a thing called SQL Workbench that I used before. So put SQL there and then hook up with the driver to your SQL database, and then you will get the data back. This is very similar, but is using Terminus DB. One thing that is better than that is like we also have a graphical result, so you can choose to output your result as a graph. So you can have a graph visualization because we're a graph database, so this is more natural to see things in graph. But can we have this in Jupyter Notebook, please? Like, I am a fan of Jupyter Notebook. I use it a lot when I was doing data science project. It's convenient because in data science project, you do a lot of data wrangling. You want to see how the data look like. If we have this in Jupyter Notebook, we can totally do things in Python and do it like we would just have this Terminus DB running at the back, and we can do everything in Jupyter Notebook in Python. That would be amazing. And I think lots of data scientists will love it as well. And now we can output the data, the result in pandas data frame. But also one thing good to have is to just directly pass a pandas data frame back to the database. It's more complicated because in order to load in the data correctly in the database, you have to have certain structure because you have to construct the graph. So this can't be easily automated. We need to put more effort in guessing what the user want in order to do that, or give more option for the user to define what they want. So it's taking a longer time for this the other way around. Also, we need more fail-proof thing, because now you can, for example, label, you can just put in anything. If it doesn't work, then if you put in something strange, right? I think you can put emoji in the labels or something, but if you put something that is really wrong, um, that you won't break it in the front end side, you won't break it on the Python side, but you may break it in the database side. So we want to check it in the front end. That's more efficient. So we have to make more fail-proof check. Also check whether you're using the right version of the database and the client, whether they match. If not, then maybe we have to also provide a fallback compatibility, for to take care of it. So yeah, there's more work to do. And if you want to know more, we'll have a webinar next week. It's at 11 a.m. British Summer Time, or if you're in Ireland, it's also 11 a.m. But because the clock will change, I don't like it, the summertime thing. So actually, if you're in any other time zone, you have to check what time is it. And if you're in Europe, in Amsterdam, then it's noon for you, so you can have lunch and have a look at the webinar. And yeah, if you have any, suggestions, if you want to contribute, that's great. Just join our community. You will find the right things there. And I really want to hear from you. So please let me know if you have any more questions or have any suggestions. Find me. My Twitter mailbox is always open. So yeah, thank you so much. I will stop sharing.